All the topics we're going to discuss, the links are in the description in the order which they've been discussed. So, without further ado, let's get to Bro Talk Live, where we talk about trending stuff and all that good stuff from a perspective of empathy. First things first, the DDG and Halle Bailey situation. It seems that it's gotten even a lot. You know what I mean? I don't know if y'all been seeing what's going on. DDG has basically filed his own lawsuit to counteract her lawsuit or whatever that was going on with the court stuff. And in this, he reveals a lot more things than we see. I reacted previously when when she came up with the allegations and all that good stuff, the restraining order, and now it's looking like like we always like we said, or yeah, like I assumed, um, there's more to the story. There's always his side, her side, and the truth. Now, from what he's saying and from the text messages, he drops a lot of text messages. From what we see, man, all these text messages, his own picture of the cut from the same incident that she was talking about. She chipped her tooth. He got cut and some more and all that. Someone will say this is a postpartum. Someone will say it's just a woman, trying to secure her stuff. Some people say it's a woman scorned. But yeah, it's looking like, it's one of them situations where we suspect that there's more to it. And man, I'm just gonna be honest with you, man. A lot of people, people are torn between this. You know what I'm saying? Of course, when it involves a lady, a guy and a lady, like I always say, bro, it's always good to get out the situation. But in this situation where you got a kid with the individual, what can you do? You know what I'm saying? And then if from what he's saying and what he's showing, these proof text messages, all this good stuff, it looked like old girl was either she was trying to be controlling or it looked like she was really going through something mentally. You know what I'm saying? Because he's filing this because she's about to go to another country with the kid, and he's saying, "Yo, she's not in good mental state, mental set of mind for her to, go out with the kid solo dolo." When she's talking about she wants, y'all seen the text and all that good stuff, and man, like this is one of them situations, man. This is why I'm very, and I understand that's the culture now, but this is why I'm so against this baby mom, baby daddy situation. But there's nothing you can do about it. You know what I'm saying? I get it, but that's why a lot of people, my folks be like, oh, bro, go get a kid. I'm like, bro, I'm not even gonna play that game, bro. Like it's too much, man. I don't know. Back in the day, there was a lot of ways for them to duck and dodge and do all the twisty turny. You know what I'm saying? A woman could be promiscuous, a guy could be promiscuous, all that. These days, there's no way. You know what I'm saying? Like social media, cameras everywhere, technology, you're gonna find out, and it's a lot of information, you know what I'm saying, especially for the mental health. That's you can understand why a lot of men or women as well, individuals just don't want to get married no more because they don't trust. But the thing is that you not wanting to get married, but still, what I'm saying, trying to have kids or couple up with somebody, you still running the chance of getting into the same ish, you know what I'm saying? Because marriage, I always say, marriage is just a legal relationship. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. It's a relationship, but it's just now y'all legally, you know what I mean? Now the whole world, so that's a proof to show that we in a relationship. That's what I feel marriage is. It's nothing, respectfully to all the, believers or non-believers, whatever it is. I don't think it's anything sacred and all that good stuff, because when people take a vow, your vow, you're not supposed to break your vow, but people break their vows and they don't die. Nothing happens to them. You know what I'm saying? So I don't believe in all the supernatural, extraordinary. Nah. But I think marriage is just a legal relationship. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's a relationship that now is just legally, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of factors now that, and in this situation, not saying they were married, but when you have a kid, this is, technically is the same thing now. You know what I'm saying? You stuck with this person for life too. And that's the thing about having kids. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if you're not sure that, with this individual, mind you, things happen. We can't control that part. You know what I mean? And that's why I always say pick your partner right, man. And even at that, you can't even. There's not really much you can do, because somebody can be this way today and tomorrow they're another person. You know what I'm saying? Life is happening to them like it's happening to you. You know what I mean? There's no guarantee that they're going. It's so much. And in this situation, when I covered the first, the allegation point, of course I was saying, why is she reporting about it now and all the good stuff? There's something fishy about it. I mean, clearly we see now from his perspective, what the fishy point is, you know what I'm saying? So the off point is, you know what I mean? but we weren't there. You know what I mean? He got proof. He got like text message proof. She only had pictures and stuff like that. So let's see if she's gonna put her own thing together. I don't know, but this is what I be saying, man. It's a this relationship game, you know what I'm saying, or this dating, marriage, whatever it is. I always say it on this channel, bro. Like, there's no formula for this shit. You think there's a formula? There's no formula, bro. Someone can be the love of your life today, and tomorrow they are the bane of your existence. This is life, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's just we gotta adapt. You know what I mean? We just gotta figure out a way to make it happen. But that's the beauty of life. In a sense, as I said, variation is the beauty of life. We can all be the same, and every day cannot be the same. You know what I'm saying? It should be different. That's how you tell stories. You know what I'm saying? If I come to tell you a story, or if I'm here talking about the same thing over and over and over again, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna be like, yo, this is boring. But when I put a little tragedy in there, a little happiness in there, up and that's what life is about. As crazy as it sounds, we want it to always be smooth, but that's not how it goes. It's just not reality. You know what I mean? And what's the saying, bro? Yin and yang, right? For that to be good, they got to be evil. You know what I'm saying? For that to be happiness, they got to be sadness. For you to be smiling right now, somebody got to be crying. You know what I mean? It's just balance, right? And in this situation, that's why they always say there's multiple sides to the story. When someone tells you his side, go get her side. When someone tells you her side, go get his side. You know what I'm saying? And that it's all perspective anyway, so it might not even be the truth, like, or the actual fact. It might just be the perception of what is happening. But in this situation, now I'm looking at this from the outside in. He has more from what he's showing us. Unless he got more things that we not seeing. She didn't post and all that. From what he's showing us, yeah, that's look like old girl was really going through it. It could be the postpartum thing, like I was saying earlier. You know what I mean? She just had a kid and all that good stuff. She could feel, he could be, like I was watching academics. Academics were saying, it's a woman scorn, in the sense that she's seen him. What DDG does. He has ladies on stream. You know what I'm saying? All that good stuff. Days, or whatever, and that could be triggering. I mean, because from the text messages and all that good stuff, even from the lawsuit. If you see what he was saying on there, it looked like she was, shit didn't work out, but she was not trying to, that's just, as I said, that's just relationship stuff, man. Like, you can't, it's not you can't predict this. It's just, I mean, for the most part, you can try to do your best, you know what I'm saying? Because, of course, if you see someone that got red flags, I would say don't go, just keep messing with them, hoping they're going to change. Fuck that. But getting with the person that, suits you today, as I said, tomorrow, it might be the bane of your existence. They might, you know what I'm saying? Shit might not work out. And then they, you know what I mean? So it's with this situation, as I, it looks crazy, you know what I mean? And of course, as a father, as a man, not me, I'm talking about him, right? Because I ain't got no kids, fuck that. Respectfully, you know what I mean? But as a man trying to be a good father and all that good stuff, you know what I mean? It's got to be tough. So it's one of them situations that will pull at your heartstrings, and you can tell from the streams and all that he loves his kid. You know what I mean? And trying to make it work. And this is the thing, as I said, with this whole baby mama, baby daddy situation, y'all stuck with each other for life. For a life. There's nothing you can do about it. You have a kid together, half and half created, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, what are you gonna do? Like, what are your options? You know what I'm saying? You really got to deal. You got to find a way to deal. And I think bruh had been silent. He really was playing the silent card. Because a lot of us were seeing this and we're just like, yo, why, it really did seem like, she painted him out to be this messed up guy and all that good stuff. And I feel like those that were looking at it is just like, bro, that's always more sides to this. There's more to the story. There's always more to the story. You know what I'm saying? There's just always more. Anybody that just goes off one person's statement is not someone of sound mind, because if you understand that life is perspective, the way someone sees something is not necessarily how it is. You know what I'm saying? There's always multiple perspectives. And as I said, that's what life is about. Right. So it's like, in this situation, I definitely feel bad for both of them. In the sense of, it's not a good pairing. It doesn't seem like it was a good pairing. Now, maybe in future it might get better, but as of right now, it doesn't seem like the pairing was a good pairing. I don't know what got them together. Even looking at them from the outside in, I wouldn't have looked at them and being like, oh, this two gonna make. But that's not up for us to judge. You know what I'm saying? Love, what they say, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. And we were not the beholders. He was the beholder. You know what I'm saying? She was they were beholding each other. You know what I'm saying? Now, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know. This situation, I definitely think it could be better. and hopefully it gets better. You know what I'm saying? Because as I said, your enemy today can be your friend tomorrow. Your friend today can be an enemy tomorrow. So life is constantly changing. You know what I'm saying? It's just that's just what it is. And hopefully things can get smooth within them. But yeah, I can see where his issues or his worry about her taking the kid is. I mean, especially after she made him look like this crazy person and all that good stuff. And he was always just chill about the situation. He was really always chill, and it seemed like he was really trying to make things work. And she just wasn't. He does, what I'm saying? It seems like she just, and that's usually how it goes with these situations, right? When the woman, because I got a homie as well. So, he got a baby mama and all that good stuff. I mean, I got a couple of homies like that, but he's trying to make the thing work, but there's emotions involved and all this, and it's just it's so complicated. Most situations when baby mama baby daddy situation, each of them still feel like they still own each other. You know what I'm saying? Because of that kid they have, no matter whether they're in a relationship or together or not, they still feel like they can still run things. Some of them be still smashing each other on the side when things go good, or hitting each other up. Some of them be cool, some of them don't be. That's why I say it's such a complicated thing that I've seen that shit from a mile away. I'm like, bro, I'm never gonna get into this. Hopefully, knock on wood, right? It's not a situation I would ever want to be in. You know what I'm saying? That's, as I said, why no kids for me, single, chilling. It just seems too complicated. You know what I'm saying? Of course, when we grew up, I don't know who's my age. Most people on my channel, my age and older. When we grew up, the idea was go to school, graduate from school. You know what I mean? Get a family, start a life. That kind of stuff. Now you try that, it's just way too much involved. You can't. That doesn't work anymore. You know what I mean? And in this situation, we can clearly see that both of them got money. Money, what they say, money doesn't give you happiness, right? They both got money, but money ain't helping the situation. You know what I'm saying? Money, you know what I mean? It ain't doing shit for this situation. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people think, if I had money and run to the right lady, that's not no guarantee, dog. You know what I mean? And in this situation, we can clearly see that. So I just hope things get better. Because yeah, I don't want to say anything negative, because realistically, as I said, it seemed like bruh might have been right. He might be in the right from the evidence and stuff we've seen. But if that's, as I said, if it's anything to go by life, you don't, you gotta wait and see how let it play out. Plus, it's not really our relationship; it's their relationship for them to figure it out. Whatever is going on is within them and themselves. You know what I'm saying? So, what they got to do with us, right? But hey, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? This is just my opinion. Now, second thing seen was the Cardi B and Offset and Steffon Diggs thing. You know what I'm saying? Recently, I think Offset tried to sue Cardi B, right, for what they call it, try to sue him for child support or some kind of thing like that, right? That's what Offset was doing, which sounds crazy. I don't understand. But recently, I seen some recordings and of Cardi B speaking about one, why she's with Steffon Diggs, and then also speaking about Offset. You know what I'm saying? Why she had to leave him. You know what I'm saying? She says God. She feels like God, led her to Steffon, give him a chance and all that good stuff. And then she also said that Offset was what other women rappers in the industry will use against her, because she's fine, she good, she all this and all that. You know what I mean? And he was always the person, because of his infidelity. It was always the reason women would talk down to her and stuff like that and all that. Still on the theme of relationship stuff, you know what I'm saying? Um, I always say, as I said, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? So he who sees it, if you like it, I love it. You know what I'm saying? However way it works for you, because at the end of the day, it's not my relationship. So if she feels that God is leading her to Steffon Diggs, because, when at the right time, because, everything, some people believe in divine timing, and, there are no coincidences. She's saying that when she feels down and, or in the dumps, that's magically when this man decides to hit her up. You know what I'm saying? Of course, he wouldn't know that she's feeling that way, but unless she posted it. But he would hit her up and all that. It would seem like divine timing, and then you dealing with an individual where, as you said, it was bad for business. People just, the most thing people can say about you is about your man. Your man being, just fucking around doing this. Even though she says he helps with music, they probably emotionally feeling good and stuff like that, whatever it is. But eventually it will get to you. You know what I mean? And I can understand that. Looking at Cardi B and this Cardi B Offset, Steffon Diggs, this whole thing. Um, I really think that it's part of what I was saying. Like your best friend today can be your worst enemy tomorrow. There's no predictors in this relationship marriage thing. I keep saying it. Like, I keep saying this shit. Like, there's no formula for this shit, bro. Like, no matter what you think, no matter how you think, there is no formula. There's no guarantee that this person is going to be the person for the rest of your life. Even if you try to work on it, like most people say, work on it, work on it. There's no guarantee. The question I have for people that believe that you can always work on and make it work: would you rather live a short life of happiness or a long life of misery? You know what I'm saying? It depends on, and there's nothing wrong with either one, depending on what you want. You can say it's a win-win situation. You live in long, but you're not exactly living good, and then you live in short, but it's so good, what I'm saying, that you might want it to last longer. So you could say it's a lose-lose or win-win situation, either or. But ultimately, it's your choice. You know what I'm saying? So that idea of people always saying, "Oh, you can make it work," and they tell you look at the previous marriages and all that. Let's really look at the previous marriages. You know what I'm saying? Technology is the reason why people feel like, oh man, things are bad now. But that's not the case. Exposure. What technology has done is expose a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people would say technology has actually helped because now human beings can learn from other human beings across the world, different cultures, all that good stuff to help us integrate our mind together. While some people feel like that information is too much, but in reality, I mean, society, when humans started, we probably started small and everybody knew everybody and all that. Think about little villages and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So you wouldn't just act up because all that stuff connected. So I don't think technology or social media, whatever it is bad per se. I think it's, of course, every tool is how you use it. I think in this situation, me personally, I think learning from other people's experiences, knowing what other people are going through can help you go. If you're going through shit, you know what I'm saying? And it looks like everybody's just living good because you don't know what's really going on. But then, you get more information and find out, oh, these people going through similar things I'm going through. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they might be handling it differently, but they're going through similar. It might help you deal with your stuff. Some other people, they might feel depressed, but you get what I'm saying. It's all still individual based. But I don't think social media is the problem. In this situation, as people always think, oh, it was better back in the day. No. In this Cardi B and Offset situation, I definitely think it's what I be saying. There's no formula, right? It worked out as long as it could. You know what I mean? First of all, cheating is never something I support. I've never supported that shit. It's just not my thing. You know what I'm saying? If you make an agreement with somebody, not just in relationships, business, friendships, whatever it might be, stick to your agreement. If you cannot handle that, then get out of the agreement by letting the other party know. Don't be doing stuff, you know what I'm saying, and claiming, oh, I love you, emotions and all that. Bruh, and every time I say this, men be all like, man, you don't understand. I'm like, bro, what do you think I don't understand? But don't give me an emotional response. Give me a logical response. The problem is emotions, right? If you're not able to balance your emotions, and that's why people always like, you don't understand. Why would I just leave? I've built all this stuff with somebody, and then you think I'm just leave from infidelity? Bro, no, you're going to stay with them and keep piling on the shit to the point where eventually one of y'all is going to be willing or ready to leave, and the other person ain't going to be, and then it's going to feel like the world is crashing around you. You know what I'm saying? Whoever is going to be feeling like the world's crashing, when you could have just ended the situation early, saved yourself the future heartbreak. But now you feel like, I've already put all this time in, and you're going to keep piling that time only for it to hurt you worse down the line. I don't see the logic in that. You know what I'm saying? I really just don't see it. So all that argument, people tell me, man, you don't understand. Bro, yes, I don't understand. I'm not even trying to understand because that don't make no damn sense to me. It seems like some stupid shit to me. You know what I'm saying? You respond emotionally, you're going to get an emotional reply back. That's just how that goes. In this situation, bro, it just didn't work, right? And just similar to the DDG situation, DDG and Halle Bailey situation, it didn't work out, and they got kids together. They're trying to figure it out. They both got money. All these individuals we're talking about so far got money, so money is not the problem. Emotion is the problem. Balancing the emotion and knowing how to regulate themselves is what the issue was. Now, how they gonna go about that? That's, you know what I mean? But there's no formula for this shit, bro. Your first love, second love, third, the love of your life today can be your worst enemy tomorrow, but that's just fucking life, bro. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want to accept it, you don't believe me, you think working it out, you can work it out, okay. Look, as I said, If you really feel that way, look at the past. Look at the past. How many what's it called, baby mama situations or single family homes do we have in the past? There was not that much technology then. You know what I'm saying? People who say, oh, it's based on circumstances. Fuck all that. If it really worked, it would work regardless of circumstance. That's not realistic, right? It's just we are human beings, bro, and we are in life. There's no, it's not clear cut. Shit happens. That's just what life is. Bro, you know what I'm saying? What life is about is, I think the way I see life is trying to break you. That's in general. No matter how rich you are, poor you are, life is trying to break you. Once you break, you lose. It's like a game in a sense. You can call it like a RPG, GTA, whatever it is. Life is trying to break you. So you just trying to last as long as you can. The longer you live with and more occasions of happiness you have within this life experience, the better you are, the more winning you are in life. But to think that it's always going to be smooth, that's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's not realistic. You know what I'm saying? And also to think that, life is just, it should be a certain way. Everybody should be experiencing life the same way. It's also the stupidest shit I've heard in the world. Variation is the flavor of life. Variation on all dimensions, good, bad, evil, you know what I'm saying? Happiness, sadness, you know what I'm saying? All that, rich, poor, that's life. And that's why I keep stressing. There's no formula for this shit. Just enjoy what you can and try to be as true to yourself as you can, because at the end of the day, that coffin fits for only you. You came in this world on your own. I say this on this channel a lot. You came in this world on your own. You gonna go on your own. You ain't gonna go with your kids, your parents, your husband, none of that shit. Your wife. It's not realistic, bro. You know what I'm saying? And that's the same shit with this situation, bro. You know what I'm saying? She's saying she feels, God connecting her to bruh Diggs. Hey, that's her interpretation of it after coming out of this situation, bruh. What's it called? What's bruh name? Offset feel like, saying she finessing, and they got all this extra stuff out of all this thing going on. She feels that, hey, at the end of the day, bruh, it's their relationship, not ours. What we can learn from that is understanding that there's just no formula. Enjoy what you have till you don't have it no more, and move on. That's always been my advice. You cannot work on some shit that's already not. If it's over, it's over. Trying to quote unquote work on it. Of course, try. I'm not saying don't try. Of course, try. But once you realize it's really done, there's nothing there no more. Let it go. Move on. You know what I'm saying? It's every day you sleep and you wake up, bro. You know what I'm saying? If you don't wake up the next day, it's the end of the story. What you gonna be in the afterlife, trying to force yourself back into this bitch? You know what I'm saying? This is just life, man. But yeah, what do I know? You know what I'm saying? It's just my opinion. And that's always what I'm going to give, my opinion. Whether you agree with it or not, it's just how I think about it. Of course, if anybody got something more logical to give me than emotional response ain't helping shit. Give me a logical explanation, something logical that you think will really work. Of course, we can chop it up. You know what I'm saying? But from what I've seen and what I've observed so far, my experience in life and other people that I know's experience of life, there ain't no formula. The only formula is you should enjoy your life and how you interpret it within your values and keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying? Now, lastly, we've seen some more, I'm not saying bad news, but recently they reported that 44 around the world in 2025, around the world, 444,000 individuals within this first 6 months have committed suicide. They have offed themselves. 2025 has been a crazy year. You know what I'm saying? Financially, for me, it's been crazy. I know a lot of people too. It's been wild. You know what I mean? So finding out that 444,000 individuals have murked themselves. This is what I be saying, man. Life is tough. You know what I mean? And who knows what they went through. And of course, for someone to murk themselves, we're talking about them murking themselves, not somebody murking them. You know what I'm saying? You can understand. They must have felt like it was over with. I ain't gonna lie. I've mentally gone through a point like that where, things really look that bleak. I'm being so for real. People be like, oh man, it's better, your situation better than the next and all that good stuff. That's not how it works though. Of course, that's true. That's a fact, right? And it depends on your perspective. If you look at someone else's experience and it motivates you to keep going, cool. Some other people look at someone else's experience and they just see it like, bro, that's their experience, that's not mine. You know what I'm saying? The way I see it is, that's why I was saying social media is so good, right? If we, the help of not just social media, the internet, learning about these things. We as human beings from across the world. That's how we're getting this knowledge right here, right? Because of course, when people talk, as I said, when people talk down on all this internet stuff, this knowledge right here can motivate some people. Like, damn, I'm still thugging it out here, bro. No matter how hard it's been, 444,000 individuals is gone, and I know my shit. I felt like it's been terrible, but at least I ain't one of them 444. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it depends on how you see it. Some other people be like, damn, shit. So people been going through what I'm going through. Oh yeah, shit. I'm justified then, man. I'm gonna go ahead and join them. You know, you get what I'm saying? It's how you interpret it, bro. There's no right or wrong. I keep saying, bro, right and wrong was created by humans. Nature doesn't see right and wrong. Tell that to the fucking gazelle that's about to get eaten for just walking around, and the lion just sees his ass. You know what I'm saying? Just wants it. Nature doesn't respect. There's no such thing as right and wrong in nature. Right and wrong were created by human beings. That's a fact. I mean, if you arguing that with me, then I can't even discuss with you, because at that point your brain is just not open enough to understand stuff. You just take information from wherever you take it from. You know what I'm saying? Scientists tell you this is how it is, and you just take it without testing it out. You got to be able to test stuff out. If you look at nature, there's no such thing as right and wrong. We created right and wrong for us to regulate our society, right? But in nature, there's no right and wrong, right? Life is happening, and that's why I say the way you interpret life is what it is for you. Period. Is really just that simple. Of course, I'm saying it's simple, but it's complicated. You know, I mean, that's just how life is. Everything that's simple is also complicated. There's multiple dimensions to everything. But my whole thing with this, this knowledge right here is just, man, we all going through something. You know what I'm saying? I always say it, we all going through something. That's what my channel is all about: empathy, understanding that you understand that what you're going through, the next person might be going through it. I'm not saying that you gotta accept it, but understand. If you can understand that what I'm going through, the next person's going through this shit, maybe you going, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you might understand and you might accept it one day, because of course you feeling emotions too. So you hurting too. So why should I care about this next person's hurt when I'm hurting? But you get what I'm trying to say. If you can understand that, if you can comprehend that, okay, what I'm going through, the reason I feel the way I feel, the next person might feel the exact same thing. So maybe I shouldn't just on this person. Maybe I shouldn't just on that person. You know what I'm saying? Because if I'm feeling the same way they're feeling, then we two peas in a pod. Or how many peas in a pod? You get what I'm saying? So it's, you can see it that way. Another thing, as I say, you can also see it as, no matter what you're going through, you've made it. You've made it up until this point. You can possibly make it to the next point. You know what I'm saying? If, not, of course, RIP to the individuals that's passed, you know what I'm saying? Of course, because as I said, life is tough. It's trying to break you. That's really what it's trying to do. Right. And if you are right now, you doing your thing, no matter how tough it is, just understand, if you did it today, you can possibly do it tomorrow. You can possibly do it, you know what I'm saying? Just keep going, you know what I'm saying? Because life is tough. It really is. It really is. Don't let anybody deceive you that your feelings are not valid. They're valid. But just understand that if somebody else, because out of those 444,000 individuals, they say, well, there's a population in the world of 6 billion? Some other people are making it. There's millionaires in there. That's how are they doing it? You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that everybody's circumstances is the same, because all fingers are not equal. You know what I'm saying? All fingers are not equal, right? But they're all vital. You lose one of these fingers, you're going to feel it. I'm not even talking about the pain. I'm talking about try to carry something with one finger missing, and you're going to feel it. You know what I'm saying? Like the pinky, you think it's not that important. Lose that pinky, you're going to see how hard it is for you to carry stuff. You know what I'm saying? So they might not be equal, but they're not equal in looks, but they're equal in necessity. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, you're going to feel it. Like, it takes something out of you. So you might not be the richest. You might not be the poorest. You might not be the smartest. You might not be the dumbest. You might not be the most muscular. You might not be the most beautiful, but you are validly important in this life. You know what I'm saying? To yourself, to everybody. You know what I mean? So it's like, just understand that, keep going and keep grinding. You know what I mean? What you're going through, somebody else is there. Not just somebody. At least, I can guarantee you, whatever you're going through, at least 10,000 people are going through it. Guaranteed. Out of 6 billion people, whatever you're going through, it might not be in the same form, but the emotions you're feeling, probably even the same sequence that you're feeling that emotion, maybe happiness, sadness is, you know what I mean? This happened to you, you lost this person might have not lost, you know what I'm saying, this toy, you know, I'll put it like this: two kids, right? One lost a toy, the other one lost a family member. The other one, you get what I'm saying? It's still lost, right? And they might be feeling in two different magnitudes, but they still lost. Like no matter the one that lost a toy might be, the one that lost a parent might be like, man, you know, you can't understand, bro. No, that's not how emotion works. Emotion is about the emotion. It's not about the magnitude of the emotion. It's the actual emotion. You lost something. You're going to feel like you, and it depends on how much value you put to that thing. Some people don't value their parents the same way they value their brothers or they friends and all. So you can't. That's why I keep saying, but life is deeper than what you think. You know what I'm saying? That's why my channel is about empathy, right? You might think your mother, you know, I'm still using these two kids. That one that lost the parent might be like, man, you can't understand it. You don't know if that toy this individual lost is way valuable to them, you know, mentally. You know what I'm saying? And there's no judgment in that, because as I said, life, you came in this world on your own, you're gonna go on your own. Whatever the other individual is trying to tell the other individual, it doesn't fucking matter, because ultimately it's not their life. You don't know how much value they put in, but they both experience loss. You know what I'm saying? How they interpret that loss is up to them, but the loss was felt, right? There's gonna be sadness. There's gonna be, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I said about life, and that's why I keep talking about my channel, empathy, right? You have to be empathetic. If you want to compare yourself to the next individual and the person, bro, your life is gonna be extremely miserable, because there's always gonna be someone that's living better than you, living worse than you. It's always gonna be the case. So what are you gonna do? Are you gonna keep living your life based on how, if you're looking at, oh, this person is doing better, I ain't doing better, this person doing worse, all that shit don't matter, right? But if you can use those parameters as motivation, you know what I'm saying? Oh, this person doing better, so I can do better. This person doing worse, at least I ain't doing that bad. You might still, you know what I'm saying? Keeps you going. Because at the end of the day, it's like I was saying, bro, you came to this world on your own, you're gonna go on your own. That coffin only fits one. Not your kids, not your mother, not your lover, nobody, not your twin. Nobody's going with you when you die, right? You going alone. You feel me? So all that other shit don't even matter. What I'm even saying don't even matter. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want to listen to it, it don't matter. So, yo, you know, just keep going, man. Life is short, you know what I'm saying? It's short because it's unpredictable. You might live to be 100, you might live to be 1. You might live to be 12, you might live to be 30. There's no expiration date written on this bitch. The two rules, what I always say on this channel, the two rules of reality. First thing, nothing lasts forever. That's a fact. Nothing. Not happiness, not money, nothing. Not your kids, not your parents, nothing. Not the love of your life, none of that shit lasts forever. The second rule, you don't know how long you have it. So enjoy it while you have it and keep pushing. If you keep trying to hold on to, oh, I want to make sure this lasts this long, and you're going to be sorely disappointed, because that's just not what life is. It's really just not what it is. But y'all can let me know what y'all think, man. It's your boy Almighty. Get all the topics in description. Of course, subscribe, follow, wherever you're watching on. And I'm going to see y'all next time. Peace and blessings.